Welcome back to a brand new episode of Better Than the Best, where I take popular restaurant and fast food menu items suggested by you and make them better. In today's episode, I'm going to make a dish that is trending in Chennai, and that is Japan chicken from Erode Amman mess. Adina, so today in Better Than the Best, I'm making Japan chicken. Can you tell me a little bit about Erode food and Japan chicken and what is the importance?
இப்போ சென்னையில் கூட பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரீசெண்டாக வந்து ஈரோடு அம்மன் மெஸ்ஸில் வந்து ஜப்பான் சிக்கன் லான்ச் பண்ணாங்க, which is slightly different from the Erode version. I always felt that Erode version was significantly better. Let me see how you can make the OG of Erode into something better. I'm also looking forward to Sanjna's Better Than the Best version of Japan chicken.
Now with the blessings from the poster child of Erode, Adhyana, I'm going to get started with the recipe. I have chicken here. I've taken thigh and leg boneless pieces and cut them into tiny cubes. I am going to season it with some pepper powder, white pepper powder, and some salt. I'm also adding some salt to the cornflour that I have here, and I'm mixing a little bit of Maida into that, giving this a good mix. This is going to be my dry mix that I'm going to use to coat the chicken. Keeping this back here, now time to get my hands dirty, mixing up the chicken really well. So this isn't an episode of Better Than the Best if I'm not doing something that's a little different, right? So I'm following a method like how you make chicken karage, which is a Japanese fried chicken, like an actual Japanese fried chicken. And they're known for being super crispy. And this is how. So I have my plate, I have my chicken here, and I have the dry mix, which is my cornflour, maida and salt. And I'm not going to mix these together. What I'm going to do is dip each individual piece of chicken into the dry mix, coat all sides properly, and then keep it aside. The cornflour used for the coating in this recipe is a non-negotiable, and it's the only way that you'll get such a crispy coating. So do not avoid it. All of my chicken has been coated. It's now time to fry. I have preheated oil here, and I'm going to add the chicken pieces one by one. The history of this dish is rather interesting, and apparently it was made for a Japanese person who was visiting Erode and could not consume too much of spice in his food, and thus this dish was born. It's been roughly 2 minutes since I added the chicken to the oil, and it's getting like this light golden color. That's when I'm going to strain it out. I'm just adding it to a plate lined with some tissue paper. While this batch cools down, I'm going to quickly add in our second batch of chicken that's still left over. See, in the batch, it's now a light golden color. I'm going to drain this on another plate. I'll tell you why. Wait. This batch has had a few minutes to cool now, and I can refry this. And I don't want to mix both. And now just look at this. It's like properly golden, even color, and super duper crispy. And I think that is how I make Japan chicken. Actually a little bit Japanese instead of just some story. Okay, super. Chicken is ready. Now second step, time to make the sauce. Toss it and avladhaan. So I'm adding butter to a pan. In goes some chopped garlic and chopped green chilli. The original recipe of the sauce is also simple na. My version is also simple na. But it's just that my version is a little bit of a fusion with Italian cuisine. Because I'm making something like a basic white sauce which you'll use for like pasta. So I'm using that technique to make it super creamy without adding anything extra to make this better. So now that this has fried nicely, I am going to add Maida, which is going to be the base or the thickening for my sauce. And then milk. This needs to come to a boil. What's up, da? Yeah, the small one is here. Now time for seasoning. Salt. So sugar. The sauce is ippove or 80% done. But a chinna extra touch and completely optional is a small pinch of MSG, some white pepper powder, and finally the cashew powder that we made and kept. Mix this really well so that there are no lumps in the sauce. And literally that's it. You didn't even hear how crispy it was, just listen. I'm gonna add that in. Finish off with some finely chopped coriander leaves. Give that one quick mix. And that's it. Dish is ready, time to plate. My Japan chicken isn't so much like a gravy. It's more like a starter, coating consistency, and that's definitely what I'm going for.
There is a lot of crunch. That was much spicier than this.
This is much spicier. The other thing is I would like my starters to be a little more saucier, so this is a bit dry and this is more saucier, so I choose this.
So I think this is more of like a subtle flavor. I feel like somebody who can't handle a lot of spice would normally go for this. And this has way too much sauce if you eat it as a starter. I would rather choose this.
This is a bit more on the spicy side. This is more balanced. So if I were to choose, I would choose this.
Now that the judging is officially over, you guys know that each of the dishes had their own quirks, their own ways in which they tasted better, and some people had a preference of one over the other. Now the only reason I pick dishes in better than the best is if they're already good and I try to make it better. So if you like this episode, please do share this video with your friends. Subscribe to Cooked. Comment down below what you want me to make, and see you in the next episode.